And we're back. Good evening, people. It's the Real Talk Podcast. It's me, Beastley Adams, in the building. Got my boys with me. Y'all can say what's up.
What's up?
What up?
What's good? What's good?
Very literal, but all right. We are here for the movie review of John Henry, brought to you by Netflix. If you want to go out there and watch it, but
It's not a Netflix movie though.
It's not. It's not a Netflix.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I apologize. I misspoke. I didn't mean to.
It was a
say
special
that.
request.
Gotcha. Right, but it's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
Right. But it's directed by Will Forbes. And you got a couple stars in there, a couple known faces. Came out 2020. Okay, guys, what's your initial thoughts on the film?
Quickly though, I remember when it first came out because I was interested in seeing how they did the film. So I do remember when it first came out. I don't remember if it was delayed, but I remember it not coming out.
Mhm.
And then everybody started talking about how bad it was, like it wasn't a good film. And I don't remember how I saw it. I might have seen it on like YouTube or something like that. And then later on, it hit Netflix, and I watched it again.
Oh, you watched it twice.
Yeah, I watched it 3 times so far.
Oh, you gangster.
Yeah, but y'all know me. I don't mind watching. So I watched it 3 times, but I watched it 3 times because I mean, we all know how the film, what we probably gonna rate the film. But because there's always something, even in good films, bad films, the best films ever made, there's always stuff that you miss. Right. So even in, so no matter what the film is, I still want to see, like, did I miss something? Maybe what I missed could make the film a little bit better than what I thought the first time. So that's one thing. Me, I didn't personally think the film was that good. It probably could have been something that they could have left on the shelf. What about y'all?
Yeah, what you think, Gilz?
I think it's interesting that you said you watched it 3 times because when you watch a movie and then you got to look down at your phone real quick for whatever reason, maybe a notification, and you look back up and it's something completely different, and then that's this entire film. Like, it's like whether you're paying attention or not, that's what it is. And so I watched it twice, 1.5, and then it's just like a slow fever pitch dream kind of thing that I mean, it had some decent moments in it, and then it just anytime it had something is building off of it, just went left. So I don't know. It was interesting.
How about you, Tarell?
Yeah, I too watched it 1.5 times. I watched it once last week, and then I watched it again. I watched it again last night, and I fell asleep. But a lot of things in that film surprised me. First of all, when I first heard about this film, this is another film I didn't see the trailer. So I looked it up online, and I'm like, okay, John Henry, and I saw it was like a animation on Disney, I believe, or something like that. It was some animation. I was like, oh, so it's a live action of that. Cool. And then I started watching it, and then I seen niggas sitting at the table playing
Not a Disney movie.
guns or some shit. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Am I watching the wrong movie? And then I keep watching it, and then bullshit after bullshit just keep happening. I'm like, oh, it's this type of movie. I'm like, but yeah, that's my reaction to that film.
Can I just say something? Like, the person that made us watch this whole movie is not here right now, and so he's the one that specifically requested for us to see the movie, and he's nowhere to be found. Granted, he has a good reason, but still,
You got a valid reason.
And the reason why you wanted to watch this movie and rate it was a good reason too. I mean,
it was valid. I mean,
it was valid.
I mean, it's not. I mean, it's built for the show. Like, our show is based on films like this, and we can't always do, films that's in our favor that we like or whatever the case may be. Like, so we gotta have an equal share amount on both films because realistically, these films happen and they're made, every day, every year. So we got to talk about it. We got to, discuss it or whatever. But this was actually an audience, like somebody in the audience said that this is a film, we should talk about this film. So that's why it was one of the films that came up. But Banks definitely did say he wanted to talk about this film. So
he got a lot to say about it, I'm sure.
I can imagine. I would imagine.
But what you think about it, Beastley?
Initial thoughts, I was real excited when I heard it was going to be a movie. Same thing as Tarell. Like, I knew the reference of the animated movie because we saw that in elementary school, probably like 2 or 3 years. So I was actually kind of hyped, like, oh yeah. And then of course, when I didn't see the trailer, but you know how you see the cover of the whatever, the movie picture or whatever, and I saw Ludacris in it, and I'm like, oh snap, this is about to be that deal. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm not smiling like I'm smiling now at the end of the movie. So yeah. That's initial thought. That's initial thoughts.
Question: How familiar you guys are with the folklore, the actual story of John Henry? Because I'm not 100% familiar, but
All right, so John Henry was this black dude back in the 1800s. Supposedly, there's a real guy that was a real John Henry, but the folklore version of him is the one that everybody really, really knows about. But anyways, back in like the 1800s, when like stealing and mining was big, he is credited as digging out like a couple different major tunnels, the Big Bend Tunnel, the Lewis Tunnel, and the Coosa Mountain Tunnel. So
just
those
one man
tunnels,
doing it by himself? Or he had like
so the legend that was of why those came about was it was a contest. It was supposed to be him versus a machine. And these were the three sites. These were the three sites that this happened at, and he won at every one. And at the very end of the last one, his heart gave out and he dies. That's the animated version.
Right, I do remember that.
Yeah. So I mean, dude was a beast.
The film definitely took a different approach than that, which is kind of misleading because they don't show that in the trailer. They don't show you that they're gonna do something different than what. So I could see how. All right, so you know how like we always go back and forth about sequels and remakes and different things like that because of the idea that it's kind of doing the same thing but in hopes that they're doing it better than the original. Right, but I can see how people could be disappointed in this one because usually I'm the one that's like, yo, I'm cool with the remakes, I like it, right? But with this one, I could kind of see how people could be disappointed because if you grew up watching this animation and you have some sort of memories with it, and then you sit down like, oh, I'm about to watch something from my childhood, and you watch this, and you like, this is nothing like what I expected, and it's nothing like the animation. So that in that aspect of remakes, I completely understand where you're coming from because this is definitely a big example of that because it doesn't advertise it. And maybe they just didn't advertise it well. Like maybe they just didn't have the money or whatever it was. They just didn't say like this is what it's going to be about.
So yeah, my bad. This is a message to all parents. Don't show your kid that movie thinking it's gonna be some magical story that you saw in the animated version. You're gonna see something that's gonna, your kid not gonna like John Henry after that movie.
Gosh, preach that, man. That's facts. I mean, but my thing, I was gonna say, Xavier, like, so with that, what you said about the remakes, even that being said, right? We haven't even had like a live action version yet. So why even change it in the first place?
I don't know, and I have some questions about that too that we can get to later in the show. But I honestly don't know why. Maybe it was just somebody just want to be different, what I'm saying, or they just had a story. And honestly, if you take John his name, because really other than the fact that he says like his pop says why he named him John Henry, there's really no reason for John Henry to even be mentioned in the story because there's only two things that connects it. It's his name, and then at the very end of the film, he gets the hammer. You know what I'm saying? So that's the sledgehammer. So that's really the only, from what I can remember from the animation and Disney, all that crap, and then coming up to this film. That's really the only two connection that I see. Everything else is completely different. Ludacris character, the what are they from? The Spanish people, the immigrated, all of
From
that.
Honduras.
Yeah, all of that has nothing to do with anything that you would think of when you say John Henry. And one of my questions is that, so because this came to my mind when I very first watched the film on YouTube, I think it was. This is what came to my mind. Because the director, when I Googled it, was white. He was a white man, right? And John Henry is supposed to be a black story, right? So and I want to know, what is the fascination with white people wanting to use our culture and stories and make films? Because in my opinion, he really just used the name for this story, right? Like what you know what I'm saying? So what do y'all think that is, and why is that?
They
I
just
play
want
devil's advocate.
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, they just want to be a part of the culture or attached to the culture somehow. I don't maybe they think they're doing us a service by doing that. I don't see how it is. I couldn't get inside their minds and decipher why they would have like such a fascination with it, but I don't know. That's a trend. That's a trend.
Yeah,
Them
it definitely is.
taking telling black stories and all that other stuff. I don't know what the fascination is, honestly.
I think Hollywood is full of opportunists. So I think whatever story they can get their hands on, they're gonna try to pimp it out and come up with something where they can get some bread off of it, or try to Hollywood it up and put it out to the public. I remember when this movie came out, like in theaters, and I saw the trailer. You got people hype about it. Like I got me like hype, like, okay, Terry Crews, Ludacris, oh, okay, and then
It's made it to theaters. I didn't know that.
yeah, made it to theaters, limited run probably, but
yeah, I think it was like select or something.
yeah. But then I was like, all right, I'm gonna wait. When you saw the trailer, like, I'm gonna wait because I don't know about this one.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think people in Hollywood just like to seize. It don't matter what race it is. Asian, they try to do the same thing with when Kung Fu movies is coming out. They're making their own version. They just do that.
They said it was the same with Last Samurai.
Yeah.
So they said it was the same thing. Like, so I don't know. I just wonder that, like, because really, it's like you said, you pimped it out. I felt like this was like an exaggerated version of that, because he really just used the name for his film to do. It's obviously you want to sell, you want to make money off of it, but like, who are you trying to get to with that? Like, I just don't understand. And then on top of that, it wasn't a good movie. So what do you think of Beastley?
I mean, the motive behind that, like, it's hard to say. I mean, I'll play devil's advocate real quick and just say that, yeah, we've run out of stories. Let's tell their stories. Let's put them out. I don't know, because my thing is, if you're gonna do it right. Don't do this bullshit.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like I'm not 100% opposed to white writers or directors putting out black movies if it's done right. Like, don't give us this and then have us be like, okay, that's why we talking now. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So they could have, I agree with you 100%. They could have just left this one on the shelf.
That's my next thing too. Like when he's, because we see that in class, like with us, like, for example, we see that in school, we see that in classes, writing scripts and reading over scripts with different people. I feel like if I wrote a story about different communities, Asian communities, Muslim community, whatever community, I feel like it's my duty to contact and have a connection with that community in some way to write this story, whether it's I've lived in the community for a little while, I have family that's in the community, friends, whatever it is, and be like, is this how things is done? Is this how you would do it? Is this how it's said? And I feel like they just don't do that with our culture. They just put it out, and people, and this has to be approved in some shape or form, go up the line, and people was like, yeah, that works. Yeah, that works. Yeah, that works. And that's all the way down to Ludacris character, and what he's doing and how he do it. Terry Crews' character, how you know what I'm saying? It goes all the way down to all of that, and I just don't understand. Nobody decided that this wasn't the right thing to do.
That's what any aspect or any story you're telling with filmmaking, you have to do your research, whatever it is, whether it be about a profession, whether it be about a certain event, you got to do your research. You got to be accurate with it. When it came to this, maybe it was just for satirical purposes. We could play that argument, but I'm just clueless as to why they be doing these freaking stories. And then once I saw that metal jaw on Ludacris's face, I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
What got me so mad about it? What got me so mad about is not necessarily the metal jaw, or how it happened, or the makeup of it. It got me mad that he pimped it out, and I felt like they was trying to emphasize, oh, this is black culture, this is black. This is what a black man with a metal jaw that Sean would do. He would make it gold, put his logo in it, and put diamonds in it, and it just irked the fuck out of me that's what they decided to do. And then I got even more mad when Ludacris was okay with it. Like, yes, that's what I would do. And I would want to ask him, like, bro, if that was seriously your joke, would you do that to? I wouldn't do that to it. I don't think I would, make it gold, and because obviously it's not gold, but make it gold and then put diamonds. It's just like it was a chain. It just bothered the fuck out of me.
That shit was whack. I'm not disagreeing. That didn't make me as mad as the which I don't know if y'all noticed, but he had on like ankle socks on with his suit and the patent leather shoes. That pissed me off. Like, bro, come on.
Well,
for real? You couldn't come up with a nice pair of socks? You had on ankle socks, ashy ankles out, while before he got smashed with the hammer? Come on, B.
If we're talking fashion, why is my crew wearing white jumpsuits throughout the whole movie? Like, what's the point of this? Like, I don't get it.
But we've seen that before, though.
So they can look nice in the black light when they chill at the crib.
Yeah. That's definitely the only reason why they did that. Why they created that but we've seen that
by themselves, not at the crib, like they by themselves, they're wearing the white jumpsuits. I'm like, wow.
We've seen that in what's the movie with Superfly? The op, all they wore was white. Everything
they did it ill though, because they were wearing
that's what I'm saying. So we did see it before, but that just tells you how bad they did it. You know what I'm saying? This is how bad it was.
They went to Walmart and got jersey hoodies and sweatpants.
The best part of the film, or the most funniest part of the film, is when those two dudes was in
the car.
And was talking. Yeah, that's probably the most like authentic feel to the movie. The whole entire film.
You got to give shout out to Slink Johnson. That's Black Jesus, aka your homeboy on Grand Theft Auto. Over there with that yee ass haircut. Yeah. Remember that guy?
That was That was probably the most authentic aspect.
That was the best part of the movie.
Yeah,
best part. And
then they capped it with the world's one of the worst. I don't know what it was when he banged the gut. The fuck. It just like when he came up with the sledgehammer, and then they just tell the story so bad, but they just lead the story. Like he just kept looking at the little side mirror. Like obviously we know John Henry is coming. You don't need to look at it 3 times, bro. He's coming. We understand. Like all right, look at it once and let's keep moving. Like
this movie is the definition of style with no substance. So. There are some good shots in there. There's some stylistic shots in there where it's like, oh, okay, that was cool. I like how you did that. But there was no reasoning. There was no rhyme or reason behind it. It was just None. Was just there. For no
There's
reason.
one shot that I did like at the beginning when old dude with the dreads runs over the dog and they have the camera follow his pistol come up as John Henry comes up. I would have liked for his hand to go up a little bit higher just to show how big and dominant John Henry was. So that's like it's so many points in the film where I felt like they could have did something with and they just missed so bad. Like you start the film with him running over his dog and you have this character, the dude with the dreads, and I just knew for a fact that we was gonna see him in some important part going towards the end of the movie just to bring it full circle, and they just kill him. It just didn't make any sense to me. So I'm like, what was the point of that character? So you telling me the sole reason for that character was to run over John Henry's dog? And I just feel like that I wish Banks was here for that, because that, in my opinion, is lazy writing. I feel like that's when you have lazy writing.
He took that from John Wick, right? Didn't
That's
he?
where I thought we were going. I thought we were
Yeah.
going to get like a John Wick
Yeah.
kind of vibe.
Yeah, that's
Came
like
back around.
as soon as I seen that dead dog and the dude pulled out the gun and he walked away all calm, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be a parody of John Wick. And I was like, oh, John Henry makes sense. Okay.
But they didn't even do enough with the dog. Like they could have did a little bit more with his, his feelings, his emotions for the dog or something. It's like they started, whoever wrote it, which I think it was the same person, right? I think he wrote it too. Will Forbes, I think his name was. I think he wrote it also.
Yeah, there's it's Will Forbes and Doug Skinner.
Yeah, and I just feel like they have so
now, hold
many
on.
points.
I'm sorry. Before you go off, let's remind everyone. Doug Skinner.
Yeah, he wrote some stuff. Yeah,
he wrote Crocodile Dundee Part 2. For all y'all that didn't miss that one.
It's a notch in the
Continue.
resume, huh?
Continue.
No, I was just saying. I just felt like they had so many moments where they could have, that it could have been something good. Like they could have did something really dope with it, and they just said, "Nah, fuck it, we're not gonna do it. Let's move on." And I felt like that initial, the dude with the dreads, could have set up perfectly for something that they could have did as the movie came on, just to bring it full circle. I
think part of that is that there's no character development. So. Mm-hmm. Throughout the whole movie. So if there's a reasoning behind what you're doing, like I can kind of rock with it, but killing the dog, no reasoning, just whatever.
No reason.
I also thought it was kind of strange how dude pulled his gun out in broad daylight like that. Like I thought that was so unauthentic. I'm like, what dude in the hood in broad daylight in the
white jumpsuit,
the suburbs?
Don't forget the white jumpsuit. Yeah.
Really?
I think it's unrealistic that he got that mad that he ran over the dog. I don't care how tough you are, son. I don't care how many bodies. I don't care. You run over a dog, you're not mad at the dog that you ran the dog. I don't know, son. It just seemed weird to me. That didn't seem weird. That he got out mad
because it's Hell's car. I think it was Hell's car, so he was like, "Damn, I'm in trouble with Hell," that kind of thing.
Yeah, but
so you
gonna be mad at the man who dogged you just ran over? Like, come on,
what you gonna do? Pulled it out. Dude, he about to kill him because you killed his dog and he ain't say shit yet.
He ain't do nothing. He was chilling. I don't know. I don't know if that was like, I'm assuming that that's what they used to introduce John Henry. And if that was the case, they did a pretty bad job at it. But even in that, it has some good shots. Like I said, the shot where the camera follows the gun up, like you just see the gun and it goes up and it's kind of like telling you how massive the John Henry character is. I thought that was a good shot. I just wish they would have maybe made it a little bit higher just to show how, because Terry Crews is not a little dude. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There were some nice slow motion shots throughout the whole movie too. Like there's some during some of the shooting scenes. I was like, okay, this could go, like especially the first beginning one when they got shot at the domino table, and then everybody flips out, and then it pans around the whole room, and like in a 360 view. I'm like, okay, maybe we can go somewhere, but it just never comes back around.
It feels like they had the money, they had a decent budget, so they had enough money to do some of them nice things with a nice camera. It's just that, like you said, the story, there was no substance, there was nothing to it.
My thing is anybody can get a nice camera, but like, how do whoever sold this movie to all these people who actually are prominent in Hollywood in some way, shape, or form, like, how did this move up the chain?
That's what I said. Like, how did this shit get approved?
Like, how did Ludacris agents say, like, yo, hey,
this is the one.
You get on this.
Or Terry Crews is like, oh. Like, I don't know.
All right, so Pete. Terry Crews, Ludacris, DJ Quick, all executive producers. Don Norwood, co-executive producer. I mean, you got a.
So for producing credits, they did this for some producing credits?
I guess. I mean, you got a lot of.
They funded bullshit, is what you're saying.
I mean, sometimes I can get it. I get it. Sometimes, like you want to build a resume. Things are hit and miss, so you take your chance. I understand that, right? But I mean, you want to put out something quality, right? Like you want to put out something good. It's for the Black culture. We don't have a lot of stuff on that has this look. Like we have a lot of Black films created by Black creators that just doesn't have this look when it comes to like the money. Like you could tell they put money into this film.
Yeah, that
like,
shit look clean.
it has the quality of it, the production of it. It's just that it was shitty, and I felt like Terry Crews, DJ, they could have just went to these black creators that are making dope projects and gave them some money so it could look good. You know what I'm saying? Instead of coming over here with this garbage.
I honestly feel like if the writing was a lot better, this would have actually.
It would have go. It would go.
Yeah. Even with that entertainment factor in it, like you could have still kept, some of the comedic elements in the film. With better writing, it would have been dope.
You could have just gave it they could have just gave it the original. They should have just called it something else. They should have called it something else. They didn't have to use. Yeah, they could have called it anything, bro. But they could have just gave it some sort of, and maybe it was like, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe it was a conflict with using the likeness. Maybe they couldn't get the rights to remake John Henry, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how to use the name. Man. I don't know, but
then leave it alone. Like
I agree. I don't know what it is.
Because at the end, right? Like I know this is what their justification is for using it. Because in the end, that's what they tie. That's how they tie it all in. Him getting the hammer, right? And then at the very end, he dies doing his last little deed, and his heart gives out, and he died. Mm-hmm. That's the John Henry story.
His heart gives out, but he gets shot in the head, shot in the kneecap. Shot in the side, shot in the chest, but his heart gave out. Come on, son. It's just so trash, bro.
I'm with you. Question though. Real quick question. That last scene, John Henry versus Hell standoff. What were y'all thinking?
Yo, yo. How did this nigga trip over the fucking wire for the flamethrower? Yo, it like all of a sudden it's wrapped all the way around his ankle.
All the way around his leg.
This man fell backwards. Like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like,
what?
Yo, I don't understand like why.
I didn't think he would go out like that.
Oh my god.
Why we in the hood and we having a standoff fight with a sledgehammer and a fucking flamethrower?
No, why is there an audience? Like why is it's a Street Fighter game?
You can't say
in
that.
The backgrounds and like
they had kids because they did that in Friday. Why was there an audience
at a shootout? They had a kid at a shootout. So
yo, bro, you asked the wrong question, bro. It's not why there was an audience. It's why did it look like they was in front of Craig's house?
Yeah, they give that. I
mean,
they were in LA. They was in LA.
It all looks the same.
No, that was literally Craig's house. I swear that was Craig's house. I don't care what anybody say. And why did the little boy run out there? Did he like?
Yo, I was when that kid ran out, I did laugh. I did laugh.
I was crying. I
was crying laughing. When his mom snatched him up.
Get your.
I was like, what?
I want to know how many times they shot that. Like how many times to get it right.
Why was that in this movie?
Luda and Terry Crews and all. I don't think they're bad actors at all. I think they're actually pretty decent.
I think Ludacris is a good actor. I'm 50-50.
Terry Crews can go. Like he does comedy. I think if you put the right.
His comedy's way better.
Yeah, his comedy.
Put the right serious role in front of him, I think he can knock it out the park.
Serious role, you said?
Yeah, I mean, he did Expendables. He wasn't that bad.
I mean, Expendables.
I'm just saying. I have an appreciation for people who can do comedy roles very well because they tend to be the draw to drama roles, like like your Robin Williams. Not comparing, Jim Carrey's. Those kind of.
He didn't do well on this one though.
Yeah, but
the fake cry. Did you see the fake cry when the girl left the room? Oh, that was that's worse than Paula Patton, bro.
No, that was worse than Morgan Freeman's fake cry on Coming to America.
Hey, Morgan Freeman's cry was fire.
His bottom lip was shaking hella.
Morgan Freeman killed it.
Yo, this has to be some of the worst acting I've seen in a long time.
But
for a movie that has this type of production.
You can't make
the production was crazy.
You can't make chicken salad out of a chicken shit. I mean, it's just
they tried though.
It is. No. Ken Foree tried, and my dick is legendary. Like that. I was like, he's trying to save this film single-handedly. He put the film on his back.
He was.
Put the film on his back. It didn't work, but no.
He said, "How are you standing right now?"
Yo, what got me? What always get me mad? What always get me mad in films is that he had a whole. I don't know what the shotgun, 12 gauge. I always, one, just off topic, I always hate in movies when people get shot unrealistically, right? Like people always say stupid shit like a 22. Yes, I can understand you can hit with a 22. Maybe you could do some shit. A 7. As those bullets go up, they get bigger bullets, man. Like you got shot with a 12 gauge in your shoulder. Ain't no way in hell you picking up the gun and shooting and aiming correctly, bro. And it just bothered me that, like, so he said he kind of was trying to save the movie, like with his humor, how he is. I know I remember him from 1,000 Corpse, and he was even like that comedic relief in a way in those type of films, like with the clown, I forget his name, all of that. So it was, so I seen him in plenty of films before, right? So I knew what I was gonna get with him, and you know what you're gonna get with some actors. You see and you get it, but that part where he blew his whole shoulder through the table and everything, and he in a wheelchair the whole movie. Not only can he stand now, he got a hole in his shoulder, and he can still shoot perfect aim and hit the gas and blow the whole house up. Come on, son.
He was like, how did you start standing again? Don't worry about that right now.
It's adrenaline. Adrenaline make you do some things. Like what?
Don't worry about my legs.
I never seen adrenaline make you walk.
Yo, the funniest line of his was when they first got there, and he was like, "Y'all want in?"
You think that's better than My Dick is Legendary? My Dick was legendary.
That was funny too.
That was the greatest line I've ever. It might be the greatest line I've heard in the past 10 years. And then he went out. He went out on that line too. My Dick was legendary.
Yeah. I think they knew they didn't have shit with this film, so they just let him do what he do.
No, I can't do this. You're not going to bash the film. What did y'all like about the film? There got to be something, some redeeming quality.
We already said it. For me, let me go first, please, quick, because it'll be quick. For me, it was the scene in the car with the two, with Black G. What's the guy's name? Sorry, Sling, and the other guy. The guy's from Atlanta. What's his name?
I don't know.
But Sling Johnson.
Yeah, we get what you say. We get.
Yeah, that was to me that had, I actually laughed kind of out loud a little bit, some of the stuff they were saying, and kind of like what you were saying, X, about it felt the most authentic, like it made the most sense. It felt like them two had a chemistry. Everything else kind of felt like, just forced, and we're gonna go here and then cut it off. Hey, let's start doing. Nah, I don't like that no more. Like it was, I don't know, it was weird, but. That and the overall look of the movie was very nice. It was a nice look, good quality, and the soundtrack was pretty dope.
I didn't like anything about this film. I'm not gonna lie. I can't even say I like it. And I watched it 3 times. I watched it 3 times with the point of trying to find something that I enjoyed in the film. Like what Beastley said, I enjoyed that part, but that part doesn't make me like anything else. Like it doesn't. Like, yes, I mean. They could have just did a 2-minute short of that and make people laugh and keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't need I didn't need to watch an hour and a half of this movie for that scene to be like, oh, I like that. No, I didn't like anything of this.
That's why they put it towards the end.
There's so many scenes that's just so not finished, right? Like, we're constantly getting drilled in our heads and we're learning, like, everything has to have a point. Everything has to have a purpose. You're trying to do this. You're trying to do that. What are you trying to do with these scenes? I know, like, I understand what you're trying to do with these things, right? So you have the one scene where the kid pull up to John Henry and start asking him questions like, what you doing out here? You must be with Hell's Boys and stuff. I understand that whole point is just for him to say, my name is John Henry, right? Like, I get it. I understand. Did we need that? No. We did not need that. Why did you have to waste 2-3 minutes of our time putting that in the film, right? There's so many pointless things that they did. Like, when the cop came to the door, and he was like, we looking for some kids. You need a warrant. You know I don't need a warrant. Yes, you need a warrant, bro. You need a warrant, son. You didn't see him go in there. You need a warrant. What is the point of that? And then he just knew that she's under the... Come on, son. That was annoying. It made me so mad that they invested so much time into the older brother just so he can get shot in the head so easy. Like, it just... You got all these people chasing after you. You just gonna walk to the door. Hello. Come on, son. It's just, it's just so pointless to me. She seen he get shot in the head. She still run over there. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. It just didn't make any sense to me. The whole blue light, the chick with the braids that shot John Henry in the head. Why you want to kill John Henry, and you mad at her for shooting him in the head as he was getting up the beach, and you, and then she's like, what, you think I'm gonna listen to you after you just said you was gonna kill me? Like, I'm confused.
You got the wrong one today.
And then she listened to him anyway. Didn't she go out there with her gun?
It just made no sense. I didn't like
Girl
it.
leaking everywhere too.
You know what I like about it? I like the poster. The poster looked fine. Here's another thing that I wanted to touch on. Like, he got shot in the head, right? Retarded. I thought they was gonna show something like he got a metal plate or something. Whatever. She got shot in the head. I did like the scene where he met old girl from high school. They had that connection. I haven't seen.
Why? What,
I like this. I just felt like that was kind of
you gotta
like
have a love
real.
interest.
Yeah, I just kind of like chemistry.
But they didn't follow up though. That's my only thing.
But that's what I'm saying. There's so much shit that they had that they didn't follow up on anything. But I did like their chemistry. Like we liked the chemistry of the two dudes in the car. I did like that part. It wasn't good. I wasn't like, oh, that's great. But I did like that. Now I'm thinking about it. But he got shot in the head. What made me so mad was the first thing he thought of to do is shave.
He had something to do.
Well, it's about to go down now.
He said, I got something to do.
Pulled out that Gillette.
Why could
he? Is it me or he looked older after he shaved?
Yeah. You should have kept that on, Playboy. You should have kept that.
He looked bad, man. He looked bad. Like, what is?
Oh man.
Yeah, so what did y'all like? Because I didn't find it.
Yeah, Gilz or Tarell, go ahead. What you like?
Yeah, I was gonna agree with you on the production, like the technical elements of it. The look is professional. The soundtrack was dope. And for me, I don't know. I like corny humor sometimes. I feel like some of those jokes are hit or miss. But and maybe it's just me. I don't know why. But remember that scene where the immigrant was like under the stairs or whatever like that, and then she was looking through the hole, and then he figured out she was right there. He was like, "You hungry?" or some shit. And then you go inside, and the next shot is a cheese sandwich on the table. Yeah. I'm like,
it's some water.
Yeah.
I said, "Wait a minute, you give her a cheese sandwich."
And then later you make a 5 full-course meal that the father's like, "Yo, why you don't never cook like this for me?"
Maybe I'm bashing cheese sandwiches too much, but really.
That's hospitality right there.
I would have been mad too.
There wasn't no meat on that sandwich. It was just
straight cheese.
It looked like straight cheese on white bread.
They had the cheese sticking out so far. There was no way there was anything under that.
Was it potato bread?
No, it looked like white bread to me. It's water. That's gonna be the driest sandwich you ever ate.
Word.
I was laughing. I'm like, I know this didn't give her a cheese sandwich. You couldn't give her no damn, I don't fucking know, ham.
Maybe you put mayonnaise.
Does it look like he was just rolling in the dough? Like, dude, he might have been down bad his damn self. So
maybe he put mayonnaise on it. He put help it slide down.
He could have grilled it up though.
Nah,
grilled cheese, right.
He could have grilled it up, bro. Like he literally took a piece of bread, some cheese, cut it in half. He didn't even cut it in triangles, bro. He cut it in half and gave it to her like, "Yo, you hungry?"
Yo, if he would have,
he probably slid it across.
What's she do with it? What's she do with it though? What's she do with it?
I don't think. Did they show it? Did they show it?
She murdered it. She murdered it. You crazy?
I don't remember eating it.
I don't remember eating it.
She ate it, bro.
Okay.
I'm gonna take your word for it. I wouldn't ate that shit.
No,
Gilz, what'd you like about the movie, man?
I thought stylistically there was a lot of potential there. I honestly think if, just like what Terrell was saying earlier, if there was better writing, this could have went somewhere. But I don't think. Okay, I like the fact that Luda is taking on a different role, seeing as a bad guy. I could see him in a better film that. He could probably play a decent bad guy. He's got a good voice for it. I think he has decent presence. He's been in big films before. I could see that. I could see Terry Crews playing a hero in a better film. It just didn't come together. I don't know, for whatever reason. I don't know who produced it or what. For whatever reason, it just did not. It wasn't cohesive. It just, I don't know, but. There were some things there. It had potential. It just didn't come together right.
Now, I did have potential. If they followed through with at least one of the things that they led with, it gives you something more. Like, it just gives you something. It just fell flat.
It
Produced
also
by Brian Kavanaugh Jones, Eric B. Fleischman, and Maurice Fadida.
Because if you producing, I'm not just gonna let you just go crazy on set and me not show up. Because if I show up and this is what's happening, like nah, something's got to give. Something's got to change. Hey, do something. Talk to the
You call
director.
and cut.
Something. Like yeah, if I have to, I mean I don't understand how it works, but my name is behind this, bro. Like I can't let you just come on.
So I just read that at one point it was #2 most popular film on Netflix. So I think people wanted to see it, and they had it, like you said, it had the potential. Because people probably was thinking like, oh, what's this? What's this? Is a black film, Terry Crews, Ludacris. Let me see it.
Well, hold on. Here's might be part of the confusion. Because in 2018 there was announced Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, had a Netflix film called John Henry and the Statesman or whatever. Mm-hmm. So he was doing his own John Henry movie. So naturally, if you see Netflix, John Henry, oh, okay, boom, let me watch it. That could be part of the confusion why I went #2 because, or just people just bored in the house and they in the house bored, on because of COVID. You know, what I mean, that's probably why. I don't know.
I've heard that there's an algorithm that Netflix does have and run to that puts up random movies and then to get people to watch them.
Oh, really?
That's what.
So maybe that might have been Netflix put it #2 and make people like, oh, this must be good. Let me watch it so they can make some money.
Exactly.
That would make sense.
And that's funny. I saw that in a documentary on Netflix. It's funny.
But yeah,
you mentioned like you could see Terry Crews as a superhero film, and that's kind of is like why I wanted to kind of talk about this, because he does have a superhero vibe to it, because a lot of we all know superheroes don't have a reason to save you. Like they had that conversation in the film, like what's your reason for helping us? Like you don't get nothing from it, all you're doing is putting yourself in danger, so he has that superhero aspect to him, and that's why I wanted to talk about it, because we don't get a lot of movies like that where we get where the black person could be the savior of other people other than black people, and we rarely see it where black people are the savior of all people, where it's black, white, whatever it is. It's usually they're saving their community, like the guy from the dude Harlem. What is his name again? The Marvel character from Harlem.
Oh, Luke Cage.
Yeah, Luke Cage. Like he saves Harlem. Like it's always Harlem. We already know what the population of Harlem is. We rarely see like the John Hancocks. Like that's rare that's like one of a kind type thing with us in our community. Definitely at this level of this production that we're talking about, John Henry. And I'm sure in the animation he was doing that, if I remember correctly, to save people, because if it was going against a machine, that means people was going to lose jobs to the machine, and he's showing that people could do this. You don't need a machine, whatever the case may be. But in some shape or form, he's seen as a hero. So how do y'all feel about that? We don't get a lot of films where we have black lead characters being heroes, and then now we get one, and it's not a good film, or they fell, or they flopped. Because when these films like this flop, it has this thing where, well, we're not going to do that because look, it didn't sell over here, so why would we do that? Let's continue to make the Batmans and the Supermans and stuff like that instead of making the Cyborg solo movie or whatever the case may be. So what's your thoughts on that?
Honestly, my fault. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you good.
Oh, no, I was gonna say I'm a much bigger fan. I'm a much bigger fan of us creating our own thing, for our own stories. Like as much as you would like to see Michael B. Jordan as Superman, I feel like at some point it feels like it's just kind of pandering. Like here, we gave you this, so now I can shut up. They're trying to make the homegirl from Chloe and Haley, the Little Mermaid. So we got a black Little Mermaid, like that stuff like that. It's just like I'm really not into it unless it's Idris Elba and 007. But other than that, I really don't. I'm not a fan of us being put on, just tagged on to other stories. We can create something original, with the black superhero, just like Hancock, like you said, when Will Smith played Hancock. I've never seen that before. and especially with the type of story that he just happened to be black, but it still resonated with it because you can put a white man in that thing and you still
We
get
see that. We already seen
story.
it.
But with making a black person, it
Mm-hmm.
kind of changes the whole element of the story. Now you don't know where it's going. So I think we need more of that, more originality with our black heroes in movies and cinema like that.
I know I didn't see him ending up with a white girl in that movie. I know I didn't see that coming.
That's another trope though, like what we talk about all the time. You always got the black man lusting over some white woman. They could have easily casted a white woman. I mean, a black woman. It's not like she was a great actor that needed to be there. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't like she's this huge.
Charlize Theron is pretty big.
You have Will Smith. It don't even matter who the co is there. You have Will Smith. You didn't need that. You know what I'm saying? You could have put an up and coming black woman that in that role. Like it wasn't like a part where it was going to be an Oscar performance, no matter how good she did it. You know what I'm saying? I always talk about that. I know, like in my papers and stuff, it's always like when you have this black role, then you got to have some white woman that they're lusting over for some reason, whatever the reason it is. It's just so predominant for some reason.
Can I shoot Hancock some bail on that part that you're talking about though? Because if I see Jason Bateman, with a black wife or whatever, and Hancock comes and said, I'm instantly, my antenna is going off. Like, okay, something's up.
But why not add that into
because
that could have been a nice comedic
but now I don't see where this is going. Like I could understand, yes, what you're saying, that trope does happen, but in Hancock, I didn't see that part coming out of anywhere. It just came out of left. So it was a kind of a surprise.
That's why though. I highly doubt.
No, you're right. But I'm just saying.
It is a nice twist. It's a decent twist. It is understandable, but I doubt that's why they did it. Like, I need this. I want this twist. So we gotta cast a white woman to have that twist. I doubt that's what they do. Like, no, no, I won't do it. I won't let that go. I don't think so. But we do see that a lot of times. Like we finally get a superhero. It's Will Smith out of all people, but now he's lusting over a white woman. You know what I'm saying? Trying to save this white man. Like it's just
right?
Always. And then it doesn't get the love that it needs, so we can make more, which is why I personally disagree with the idea of let us be original, because we have been original, and even Marvel, DC, these other comic books, they have been original with black superheroes. John Henry is in a way original, but look what they do with it, and then it kind of deters other people for wanting to create more like that, because they have this idea that it might not sell, it might not work, it won't go. But look at what they do with it when they do it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said, no, make Superman black, because it's going to get the draw, like Black Panther. It got the draw. As soon as we seen them in Avengers, everybody was jumping on the wave. And us jumping on that wave built this world, or this idea of like, yo, we need a Black Panther movie. We need a Black Panther movie. And then in 2018, we finally got a Black Panther movie. Now, Marvel and Disney, they did the right thing by casting black people, casting black directors, and, black writers and everything, to make sure that culture and all of that was there. But, not everybody do it like how Marvel does it. You know what I'm saying? And it just, I personally think it just turns people's eyes and minds when they do want to do it, which is why I say, like, no, why Batman can't be black? It's literally created. Like, somebody sat down and created Batman. Somebody sat down and created Superman and all these other characters. They're created people. They're not built off somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not in the image of somebody, like it's a biopic or something like that. Like, somebody thought of that in their head. So it can be any color, any character,
you don't feel like it's pandering like a little bit? Because I think for me, it's just like, all right, yeah, y'all got it. Y'all got black, y'all got Batman, y'all got Superman. Let's make our own shit hot. You know what I mean? Because niggas think that we need their heroes in order for us to be protected. Black Panther not included, because Black Panther is black. But putting like a black person in Batman, Superman, it's like, oh, y'all need this, because without us, your shit not gonna go. That's what it makes me feel like. I know that might be not the truth. I just.
So then, let's just go ahead and wrap this up and go ahead and rate this. So it's about that time, gentlemen. Such a great talk we had here. I feel like we learned a lot. I feel like we had a lot of highs, a lot of lows. So let's go ahead. Who wants to go ahead and rate this one
Terrell,
first?
what you rating it, Terrell?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, what you rating it?
Garbage.
Mm.
Garbage. Hot garbage.
Any reasons why?
The reason why the over exaggerated, just this is a black film, with the like what X was saying before, with the jawline all pimped out. Yeah, the first scene in the beginning of them at the table saying nigga like 4 times in every sentence. I thought that was a little
Excessive.
I don't know if it was just me. I was listening to it. I'm like, okay, we get it. We say it, but really? I don't know. And again, the writing was terrible. Terrible. Like they just had a B story and then they chopped it off and just never went back to it. I'm like, what is the point of adding that dog in there or adding that girl with the the relationship and all that stuff? Like what is the purpose if you're not gonna come back at the end and let us know what's going on? And
follow through.
that's the whole purpose. And I mean, comedic wise, it wasn't really that. It wasn't hitting all the time. So yeah, that's my reason. That's it.
Beastley, what you think? What you rating it?
Oh man, this thing right here is straight garbage can juice. I mean, I wanted to give it a good watch, or what? That's the one right above it, right?
No, dud.
I wanted to give it a dud. But honestly, I don't see myself watching this one again. Like, I really don't. Like, this is bad. And especially because shout outs to Miss Revere in the 3rd grade, North Elementary School, you know what I'm saying, for showing me that movie. I can easily just erase this version out of my head and keep that animated version in my head, because that was the waste of time. And I actually rushed to watch this shit, like, and so I can make sure I made it on time. And yeah, I'll never get that hour and 52 minutes back. So
Yo, Gilz, before you go, I was gonna rate this a dud, but what solidified the garbage can juice was that part at the end where he had the flamethrower and then it magically was wrapped around his leg. I was like, nah, fuck that. This is getting the garbage can juice. There's no way you came out there. It was completely untangled. But for some reason, right when, homegirl shot him and he fell back, like, nah, fuck out here.
I have like I
Don't fail us.
I imagine Terrell just like with a piece of paper that has the word dud on it circled, and then that scene happens, and then he just crumples up the paper. I can't do it.
Ripped it and set it on fire.
Using the flamethrower.
All right, Gilz, what you think, Gilz? Don't fail us,
me.
Gilz.
You know what it is.
Don't fail us.
This is certified. Let me stop. Right.
No, you gotta keep up. No, you gotta keep up the show.
We just all we would have did was with an and then our logo with her right there with you. Oh, what the fuck? What is he talking about? Anyways.
I was really reaching for. I was honestly reaching for the dud. Like, I'm like, yeah, we can get there. Like, there's something
we can get there.
Like I really like, no, all my heart. Like on the second watch, I'm like, let's do it. Let's get it. And then it's just, and especially after hearing y'all talk, I can't in my right mind give this. I'm sorry, I can't.
It's impossible.
It's not good. That's nothing to say anything bad about Luda, Terry Crews.
Right. Facts.
I think y'all still dope artists, but no, that's not it.
No, I think this was a bad choice. I mean, everybody. I think we could sit down and see everybody's catalog and see where they made a bad decision on a film, right? Because you never know if this might have hit. It might, you never know. I'm gonna give it a garbage can juice because I honestly didn't see it. And I watched it 3 times, personally looking for, all right, where this story's going. Like, what's the point? Like, what's the normal? You know what I mean? What's the what's the incident? Like, what's going on? Like, who's the character? Who's the main character? Who's the antagonist? And I'm looking for these things, and I'm like, nah, it's all over the place. Like, yes, we know and Luda's the antagonist. Obviously, John Henry has to be the protagonist, but the story's not even really about him. The story is about, you know what I mean? So they just did a bad job on every end of it, other than it looks good, and I'm not gonna give it anything over Garbage Can Juice just because it looks good. You know what I'm saying? So
real quick, what
definitely
other
Garbage Can Juice.
unanimous Garbage Can Juice that we had?
I think it's the only one.
No, there was another one.
That was one.
No, it wasn't Safety. Safety. I forgot someone gave it a dud, or two people gave it a dud.
I might have given it a dud.
I think that was.
You gave it. I gave it Garbage. No, I don't think we gave Safety Garbage Can Juice.
I think it got duds and good watches.
Yeah. I don't think we gave. I
there
think
was
this is the
one
only
more
one.
unanimous.
I
There
think
was a
this is the only
unanimous
one.
garbage. No, there was, because you picked it on purpose. He was like, "Yeah, I picked this on purpose because it's trash." But
I think even then, Gilz didn't give it. Did he? So we did American Skin, I'm Not Your Negro, Judas, One Night, Safety, Coming to America, Queen and Slim. No, I picked Safety because of how bad it was, but I don't think we gave it a Garbage Can Juice.
The first.
I think this is the first one.
Okay.
But before we finish, at the end, did I not see his hand move? Is he really dead, or is it just bad acting?
Whose hand was that? Whose hand was he holding?
It was John Henry, and I don't know.
Was it the lady on the tampon aisle?
Yeah, I think it was John Henry's hand. But I think it does move because remember they did it. They did it when
he was holding somebody else's hand.
Yeah, and it moved. That's what I'm saying. Is he dead, or is it just bad acting?
He grabbed it. He grabbed it.
It's bad acting, but I don't think he's dead. I think obviously they hope to make a second one, but they're not making a second. We're not making a second.
No sequel.
Never again.
Never. And another thing before we close out, that cliche, overused, washed up villain clap, that bullshit, that solidified it too.
You can get that off if you do it the right way. You can hit it.
Bravo, whatever the fuck he said.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that.
You can get.
I don't want to see it, Gilz.
The slow cap can still play.
No, Gilz. It's 2021, bro.
They're gonna make me go out my way to prove that it can be done. It can be done. All right.
In 91, yes.
Watch. This movie would have killed in the 90s. You kidding me?
Hell, okay, come on, let's go.
This movie would have hit.
I appreciate y'all listening. This was a tough one. I understand. This movie wasn't that good. This was definitely a tough one. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate you sitting with us. Go ahead and like, comment, share, tell us what you think. Go watch the movie. You know, everybody has a different opinion. Go ahead and watch that. And we out.
All right, peace. No, I didn't know. I know I didn't. I know. Wow, never mind.
We'll cut that out. Don't worry.
Right.
So you was about to start rapping or some shit.
No, I was just gonna say about how